Have you ever sat in a meeting where everyone nods, but nothing actually moves forward? Decisions stall, ownership is fuzzy, and somehow, despite hiring smart people, execution gets worse. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Most organizations don't have a strategy problem. They have a cognitive alignment problem. And today, I'm going to show you what that actually means, why it silently kills execution, and how to fix it in a way most leaders completely overlook. Because once you see it, you'll always start noticing it everywhere, in your meetings, in your organizations, even in your teams. And you realize the issue was never effort. It was never talent. It was alignment at the level of thinking. It was never talent. It was never effort. It was alignment at the level of thinking. Let me start with a simple but dangerous assumption. Most leaders believe alignment means 1, everyone agrees. 2, everyone understands the strategy. 3, everyone is on the same page. But here is the problem. Agreement is not alignment. Think about it like this. 2 people can say yes in a meeting, but mean completely different things in their heads. It's like that scene in a heist movie where everyone thinks they understand the plan, and then everything falls apart the moment execution begins. Why? Because each person was operating on a different mental model. They're operating on a different mental model. So, what is cognitive alignment? What is cognitive alignment? Cognitive alignment is when people don't just agree on what needs to be done, but share the same understanding of why, how, and what success looks like. It's alignment at the level of interpretation, prioritization, decision logic, not just words. Let me break that down. In a cognitively aligned organization, when a leader says this is urgent, everyone interprets urgency the same way. When a decision is made, everyone understands the reasoning behind it. When priorities shift, no one is confused about what gets dropped. None whatsoever. That is rare. That is very rare, because most organizations operate like this. Same words, different meanings. Same goals, different priorities. Same meeting, different conclusions. I once worked with a leadership team that said their top priority was growth. That sounds clear, right? But when we unpacked it, the CEO meant growth. The operations head meant process scalability. The HR lead meant team expansion. Same word, 3 different interpretations. 3 completely different interpretations. And guess what happened? What came about was conflicting decisions, resource misallocation, frustration at every level. Not because they lacked clarity, no, but because they lacked cognitive alignment. Here is where it gets serious. Cognitive misalignment doesn't just create confusion, it creates friction. And friction is the silent killer of execution. Let me show you how it plays out. Number one, decision paralysis. People hesitate because they are unsure how decisions will be interpreted. Number two, rework and redundancy. Teams move in different directions and then they have to correct course later. Number three, hidden conflict. Not open disagreement, but subtle resistance. Number four, accountability breakdown. Because if we don't share the same understanding, how can we hold each other accountable? It's like trying to run a relay race, but each runner thinks the finish line is in a different place. Remember what I said earlier, that you start noticing this everywhere. Everywhere. This is where it shows up the most. One, meetings that feel productive but produce no results. Number two, teams that are busy but not effective. Number three, leaders who repeat the same message again and again. Leaders who repeat the same message again and again. Let's get practical. Cognitive alignment operates on three critical levels. Level one, strategic alignment. What matters most? That is where most organizations think they're aligned. But here is the test. If I ask 5 leaders your top 3 priorities, would I get the same answer? Not similar, the same. Level 2, decision alignment. How do we decide? This is where things usually break. Questions like, what gets prioritized over pressure? Number 2, what trade-offs are acceptable? Number 3, who has the final call? If this isn't clear, decisions slow down, or worse, contradict each other. Level 3, execution alignment. What does done look like? What does done look like? This is the most overlooked level, because when people agree on strategy and decisions, they still fail here. Why? Because completed means different things to different people. One team thinks it is 80%, another thinks it's 100%, another thinks it's good enough. And that gap, that is where execution breaks. That gap, that is where execution breaks. Now, here is the part most leaders don't expect. You don't fix cognitive alignment by communicating more. You don't. You fix it by 1, standardizing thinking. Let me explain. Most organizations try to solve misalignment by more meetings, more emails, more presentations. But that only amplifies the problem. Instead, you need to create shared decision. You need to create shared decision frameworks, not just decisions, how decisions are made. Number 2, explicit priority rules. Clear trade-offs, not assumptions. Number 3, defined interpretation standards. What does urgent, high priority, or done actually mean? What do they mean? Because priority isn't what you say, it's what people consistently understand. It's not what you say, it is what people consistently understand. Think of cognitive alignment like a GPS system. If everyone in your organization has different maps, different coordinates, different definitions of destination, then no matter how fast they move, they won't arrive at the same place. They won't. Alignment isn't about moving faster. It's about moving in the same direction based on the same understanding. Alignment isn't about moving faster. It's about moving in the same direction based on the same understanding. So, if your organization is struggling with execution, ask yourself this: do we actually have alignment? Or do we just have agreement? Do we actually have alignment? Or do we just have agreement? Because those are not the same thing. And once you shift from aligning words to aligning thinking, everything changes. Decisions speed up, ownership becomes clear, execution becomes consistent. Yes, decisions speed up, ownership becomes clear, and execution becomes consistent. If this gave you a new perspective on execution, then you'll want to watch this next video because it ties directly into what we talked about today. And if you are serious about closing your execution gap, subscribe and I will show you how to build true alignment inside your organization. The problem isn't your strategy. It is how your organization thinks about it.